Hello, everybody. Today, we are asking the crucial question of what is the cheapest commander deck that you can potentially make. And I'm stealing the let's use a PowerPoint presentation or a Google Slides presentation to articulate thoughts. So, what we need to know first is how are we going to find what the cheapest commander is? Because obviously, we're going to need a very cheap commander. So, luckily, if we put in this into Scryfall and we search by these things based off your pricing, since I'm American, USD, we can get cheap commanders. This is the list of cheap commanders that are cheapest. Particularly, we're going to be looking at first, actually. You don't care. We want cheapness. We want cheapest cards. Will the deck be good? No. The deck will not be good. But will it be cheap? Yes. Very cheap because we have no money and we want that. Next thing is islands don't, and swamps in this scenario because we might be using those colors. But lands, basic lands, do not count. I put 38 lands in the deck because I'm going to need lands. We're not counting the cost of lands because literally no deck building site ever counts the cost of lands into your total deck cost. So we won't be. But I put 38 in these decks. That's what I'm used to using is 38 for most of them. Sometimes I use less, but I don't go more than 38. But as I said, we are using Alpharel Dreaming Acolyte because Alpharel, if I'm saying it right, from Edge of Eternities, is 3 cents. 3 cents card. It's gone up recently, so we're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about that in a second. It's technically gone up to 5 cents, but we're at 3 cents. Next thing is all these commanders all cost 3 cents. So how do we choose which one we're going to be using? Well, we're choosing to use Alpharel over any of the other guys because they're 2 colors. That's the entirety of the reason. Of all these 4, he's the only one with 2 colors. So, with that in mind, we're going to run the 2 colors because the 2 colors means there's going to be more cards that are potentially less costing than just the monocolors. We'll get back to a Scoa though, because potentially. So we can put things like Gust Skimmer, Block Stomper, and Water Courser. Most of these cards, 2 of those cards, the Gust Skimmer and Block Stomper, are 2-cent cards. The Water Courser is a 1-cent card. All we're trying to do is get 62 cards plus the commander that get under $1 potentially to make the cheapest. So don't mind this. I had to make the thumbnail, so this is the thumbnail. Uh, but what is the cheapest commander? We're just talking about Apharel here. So what do we want to do with Apharel? With his text, we have not read it yet. When Apharel, that's what the other slide's for, but I already have recorded this once, and the microphone was not registered, so I made a thumbnail and got ready for it and then realized. So, Apharel, he is when Apharel enters, you draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact card. So in theory, plus during your turn, he gets Death Touch. So you probably want to buff it up and give it Trample. Probably want to put some cool artifact cards in there so you can draw them. But probably bigger. I've noticed this after I started recording the second one. You probably want to flicker it. It's not a great commander card, obviously, but you probably want to flicker it. So yeah, that's what you probably want to do. That's what we're doing. We're putting weird cards like Reef Soul, Underwater Tunnel, slash Slimy Aquarium, and like Heavy Arbalest in there. Why? Because they're all 1-cent cards. It's not a crazy concept. I skipped 2 slides. Going back to Skoa, I made the entire deck, and I was like, I want to see if I can get this under $1. Under $1 is the big thing I was trying to beat. The other one, spoiler, is not. So what I chose to do was choose Skoa because it was mono red. Red might have enough because red's weird and has a lot of cheap, has a lot of like weird 2-1s and stuff. So I tried to make the deck like you can see. Ill-tempered Cyclops is a 3/3 1-cent card for 4 mana. I got to 23 cents with a bunch of stuff, and I realized mathematically if these were all the 1-cent cards possible in red, and realized very quickly I could not do anything. So I tried to do it with Tuscan Whiskers. I came to the same issue of 24 cents. With 2-cent cards at minimum needing to go into it would mean it would not go into it. So that leaves us to the conclusion. What is the cheapest deck? I did do it with Alpharel yesterday. So the prices have all gone up now since of making the deck yesterday, recording it today, meaning now Apharel's 5 cents. Some of these other cards are like 2 cents, 3 cents. The little things have gone up a cent. I've quickly edited this number. It was $1.03. That's what I had it at yesterday. I had to quickly edit the 103 in because I didn't take a screenshot of yesterday. But now it's 114. Could you, in theory, get it cheaper? I don't know. There are some 4-cent commanders that potentially could do it. There is a bippity. There's one from um, Infinity that is 4 cents in green blue that you could do. There is a commander in green red you could do. And then there's the only other one that is 4 cents is Tuscan Whiskers. Tuscan Whiskers is a 4-cent card, legitimately still is a 4-cent card. I try to take the 1 cent and try to do anything with it, but that's the conclusion. Thank you for this video essay. Unfortunately, we cannot get a more expensive commander, but it's my first video on Magic, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I potentially do more, potentially do the most expensive deck. I don't think I will, but yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Peace.